I think in Asia, it's going to be a nuanced approach. We are neutral on China, but by and large, we are actually positive and bullish on Southeast Asia, really because we think that the reopening should not be hindered that much by the new variant, and that reopening, especially in Southeast Asia, should continue and should gain traction, especially as pent-up demand consumption should become very strong in Southeast Asia as normalization occurs going into 2022. And of course, in Southeast Asia, the regions we like will be Singapore, Indonesia, and of course, Thailand.
And how do you think Asia would cope with the rising rate environment in the US? I see a lot of analysts talking about Indonesia standing out because of the recovery story, but wouldn't that be pegged back somewhat because of rising cost of capital internationally in the US and the fact that Indonesia typically is vulnerable to such moves?
Well, what's clear is that the Federal Reserve will move very slowly, and of course, in terms of the interest rate increase, and it has been fairly well telegraphed. So the repeat of the taper tantrum back in 2013 is very unlikely to affect emerging markets as much compared to back then. But what's clear is also that a lot of the countries in Asia have built up foreign reserves. Its economic fundamentals have since improved significantly. So I think from that perspective, that volatility associated with the rising global cost of capital should have a lesser impact on Asia. And of course, many Asian countries are also on the rate hiking path, and that should actually mitigate that uncertainty.
What's the biggest risk for 2022? James?
Well, of course, there are still risks. I think a lot has to do with the new variant of the virus. The impact is still very uncertain. And of course, inflation is also associated with that. So, of course, if inflation rises faster and does not fall, that could be a risk for central banks and, of course, for markets.